He's down for it.
True.
Oh, and
footstool.
there it is! Footstool there, he's okay.
Oh my goodness, he cannot survive another one though. Tweek has to find this last hurrah somehow, but only going to find a diamond back here. The appropriate pop-up for Acola, as he is your Smash Ultimate Summit 6 champion.
Acola's massive losers run at Ultimate Summit 6 cemented it. For quite possibly the first time in Smash Ultimate's 4-year history, there is a legitimate debate over the question of who will be the world's #1 when Ult Rank's next edition comes out in about 3 months. Ultimate Summit 6 shook up just about everything we knew about the game, and it's about time that we take a step back and reevaluate. Who really is the best Smash Ultimate player in the world right now? We'll answer that question soon after a quick word from today's sponsor. Hey, you ever get hungry? Well, that problem is a thing of the past. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. I am unironically very good at cooking, so being able to make fresh meals every night is a huge for my busy day-to-day of making silly little videos about a silly little video game. HelloFresh delivers step-by-step recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your door. Like I said, I'm a great cook. Just ask my dog. Don't believe her? Well, 1, that's just plain silly, and 2, you don't have to. I'm still getting paid. If you want to enjoy the convenience of whipping up a restaurant-quality meal right in the comfort of your own home without having to spend hours at the grocery store, HelloFresh is cheaper than the store and takeout combined. Okay, well, maybe not combined, but like, it's convenient and stuff. Whether you're a busy individual or a family full of picky eaters, HelloFresh offers a variety of delicious and healthy meals to choose from. You can customize meals by swapping, upgrading, or adding proteins and sides with Calorie Smart or Carb Smart options. And if you're short on time, you'll love the quick and easy recipes, ready in less than 30 minutes and still packed with flavor and filling portions. Quality ingredients are delivered from the farm to your doorstep in less than a week, and HelloFresh Market allows you to add snacks, sides, and desserts to your weekly order. So what are you waiting for? The cruel unending march of time to come for us all? Sign up today with my link in the description and try out HelloFresh for amazing meals delivered straight to your address in New Jersey that I definitely know. Thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box with the link in the description, or use the code POGHF106507, which is sort of similar to my name, on HelloFresh.com. We can start by building a simple list. Who's won Ultimate Majors so far? Tweek got on the board first at Let's Make Big Moves 2023. Acola won his first of now 3 events back at Umabura SP9. Along with that in Summit 6, he also claimed Kagaribi #9 in February. MkLeo, the GOAT, has only won 1 major this year, but it was the biggest held this year in North America, the Super Bowl of Smash, Genesis 9. Riddles took his second Super Major title of his career and his first of the year at Collision 2023. And while Liquipedia only counts Level Up Expo 2023 as a major and not a super major like the rest, the February event was stacked on the top and taken by light. These 5 certainly aren't the only ones in the conversation. Some events in early April in Portland, Oregon made sure of that, but it's a decent starting point.
Ropes, but wait, goes for the uppy call out. No, doesn't get it.
Oh, the edge guard?
Oh!
That suck and the
Oh my
pop-up
God.
from Miya's side. Oh my god, dude.
We'll start with the player Western audiences are least familiar with, Japanese Game & Watch main Miya. Miya's case earnestly begins all the way back last summer, when he shocked the world by becoming the first Mr. Game & Watch player to win a major at Kagaribi #8 in July. Since then, he's been one of the game's most consistent performers. He followed in his former crewmate Acola's footsteps by winning his first ever American major just 4 months later at Apex 2022, which he followed up 2 weeks later by winning the Japanese major Seibugeki #12. Unfortunately for Miya, his slow start includes the worst result of anybody we'll talk about in this video, which precludes him from any serious consideration for the title of current #1. That would be his 49th place finish at Kagaribi #9 back in February. Srix, one of Australia's best players and certainly its best Sephiroth, made one of the biggest upsets of the year thus far when he took down Miya in pools. You can't really even pin this on early round best of 3 variants either. This was a best of 5, which gave Miya enough time to give his Rob a try. It wasn't enough, and loser's bracket at a Japanese major is never somewhere you want to be. There will always be a killer in your path somewhere, and this time it was Jagaimo, who was at one point in the conversation for world's best Palutena player, a terrifying matchup for Miya both character and player-wise. Miya also took 13th at Umabura SP9, falling to a pair of internationally recognized top-tier wizards in Atlier's Wolf and Dio's Snake. No shame in that, but nobody else on this list has 2 placements outside of the top 12. But since February, Miya has been damn near unstoppable. Since taking second at Regional Okasuma SP11, Miya hasn't lost a set in Japan, winning 3 tournaments including 2 major events, Meisuma Top 11 and Seibugeki number 13. His Seibugeki win was impressive, featuring wins over Japanese stars like Gact, Kameme, Nietono, and Shutone. But no result shows his potential to reach Smash's pinnacle like his performance at the most recent Meisuma. He also beat Shutone and Gact there, but most impressively, he took down 2 players who have won major championships both in Japan and North America, Ken and Acola. The Acola win in particular is huge. Only a few players have demonstrated the ability to take down the leader of the Funny Blockmen, and Acola has previously been one of Miya's bracket demons, winning 4 of their first 5 sets. That makes Acola the only player with a winning record on Miya with more than 3 sets on record, and if Miya's gonna start winning that too, he'll have a lot more first places in his future. Miya is going to need to keep up this level for more than a month before he truly makes his way into the #1 conversation, but don't sleep on him. Even though he hasn't been able to come to America since last year, he's been playing at a peak level these past few months.
It's gone! His face
Oh,
is
no,
in.
that could be it.
I think that's
That
it.
could be
A B, it does it! Riddles takes it! What an incredible set from 2 incredible competitors!
Much like Miya, Riddles put himself on the map with a major win last fall. His came at the Big House 10, where Riddles finally overcame Light, one of his biggest bracket demons. And much like Miya, despite stretches where he's played like the best player in the world, when it comes to the current discussion, Riddles has one early 2022 result that probably takes him out of the running. That would be his 33rd place finish at Genesis 9, where he fell to 2 players known for some of the cleanest movement and spacing in the game. In winner's side, he lost to Chase's Palutena, a back-and-forth set that included 3 2-stocks, including Riddles' Game 4 win and the win that sealed it for Chase in Game 5. In loser's side, he was sent to the French Dimension, where Leon was waiting for him and the veteran Lucina player won by a 3-1 count. Riddles has missed one other top 8 this year, Ultimate Summit 6's, and just describing his performance that weekend as 9th place losing to Proto Banham and SkyJ sort of loses the plot. On Saturday, Riddles picked up wins over Spargo and MkLeo, and it's hard to call any weekend bad when you beat those 2. The crown jewel for Riddles is his second major win, which came this March at Collision 2023. Here, he picked up yet another win against Leo and took down SkyJ twice in winners and grands. But, and as absurd as it might feel to say this at a major where he beat Leo, the biggest win for Riddles might have been his winner semis victory over Sonics. It's not just that Riddles had lost the first 3 major sets he's played against Sonics, including 2 where he had forced a Game 5 just to fall short. It's how he did it. Riddles didn't just go down 0-2 to Sonics, he got crushed in those first 2 games, losing by a combined 5 stocks. And then, out came somebody Riddles doesn't bring out that often anymore, the Terry. And what a reverse 3-0 this turned out to be. Instead of having to fight a loser's run that would have started with Spargo and may have required not just 1 but 2 wins over Sonics, instead the only thing left in Riddles' path was SkyJ. And although SkyJ started to figure out the matchup as the set went on, Riddles was 2 on top of things on that day. Riddles' placements have been strong, but the best marks on his resume are his head-to-head counts. In the past year, Riddles is 2-2 against Spargo, 3-2 against MkLeo, and a ridiculous 3-1 against Tweek. He still has a few bracket demons. Acola 0-4, Sonics 2-5, and Light 2-4 are chief among them. But you simply do not put up an 8-4 record against the likes of Spargo, Leo, and Tweek without being one of the best players in the world. A 3rd place finish at the recent major upset only further proved he belongs in this conversation, even if he might not quite be at the pinnacle just yet.
Tweek talks. You have to listen. Oh my! But he ain't listening. His ears are covered. Your level up champion, Light.
Everybody lost when Light wasn't able to make it to Ultimate Summit 6. Not only is he one of the most electric players on the planet, it would have been fascinating to see how his inclusion would have changed some of Summit's storylines. Could he have stopped Acola and won the whole thing? It's hard to say, but given his consistency of late, you know he would have picked up some big wins. Light has missed just 1 top 8 in his past 7 tournaments dating back to December's main stage 2022, a 9th place finish at Collision 2023. There, Light fell to D-Dog, the artist formerly known as Quandale Dingle Ingleton, and had a spirited losers run stopped at 9th by Tweek, who was only there because he got upset by Lima. Every other tournament he's attended this year has included a top 8 finish. At Genesis 9, he destroyed Kameme for the 2nd straight set, a practical rerun of his speed run through the Japanese Sora player at Glitch Regen last year, before taking out Tweek in a Game 5, one of the sets of the year thus far. Despite a loss to Mutace, Light would also pick up Game 5 wins over Spargo and Sonics before falling to MkLeo for 3rd, a run that not just showcased Light's power, but his clutch factor as well. Light's win at Level Up Expo saw him clutch up from losers, taking down Sonics and Tweek twice to take the crown in Las Vegas. At 3-2, Light is just one of 3 players with a winning record on Tweek this year, joining Gluttony and Acola. Light is also 3-0 on Sonics and 1-0 on Spargo this year, a couple of very valuable head-to-heads to have under your belt given the consistency with which both players have been making top 8s thus far. Unfortunately, we'll have to give Light an incomplete for now, but he's performing at a shocking level of consistency given the fragility of the character he plays, and he's capable of going home with the win at any given tournament on any given weekend.
Everyone wants to see it go down to the wire. Leo just trying to close this out. Is the back air enough? Oh, he's gonna do it!
It is yet again the top of the mountain achieved as MkLeo is your Genesis 9 champion.
He's still the current world number 1, and he's still the GOAT, but this undoubtedly is the most vulnerable MkLeo has ever been in Smash Ultimate's 4-year history. Prior to 2023, Leo's worst stretch of tournaments came all the way back in 2019 around the time of Joker's release. In April of 2019, he finished 7th at both 2GG Prime Saga and Pound 2019, using Wolf and Ike respectively. Then, at Umebura Japan Major 2019, a massive 1,000 player bracket, Leo tried to use Joker for the first time and fell to a pair of Peach mains, TKM and Umeki, for 33rd. Still by far his worst placing ever at an Ultimate event. There's been no 33rd or anything comparable from Leo, but for the first time ever, Leo missed consecutive top 8s at Collision 2023 and Smash Ultimate Summit 6. It was easy to brush off the first one at Collision. After all, Leo had just broken out of a slump at Genesis 9, emphatically announcing to the world that we were fools for ever losing our faith in the once and future GOAT. Surely he would do the same at Summit, right? Somebody must have lost track of the script because Acola blew everything up, first by losing to Big D in the most shocking upset of the tournament to set up a matchup for 9th between the tournament's top seeds, and then by absolutely running over Leo in a way that we haven't seen since Onin did the same thing to him back at Super Smash Con. More and more players are getting their hits in on Leo. Shiny Mark got him at Collision, and Apollo Kage got him at Summit. Even if Leo is still number 1, the gap between number 1 and the field is definitely smaller than it's ever been. Leo committed to Aegis for his first tournament in the Aftermath earlier this month at Major Upset. Forget any growing pains or an adjustment period, Leo was right there in Grand Finals on winner's side, just like old times. And then he dropped his first Grand Finals from winner's side in his history at Majors. Spargo not only reset the bracket but took the tournament, and for the first time ever, Leo was shut out of the winner's circle for 3 straight events. According to Liquipedia, Leo still has more major wins at 25 than anybody else has major top 4s. That mark belongs to Tweek with 23, including 9 major wins. But we're not talking about who's the GOAT, we're talking about who's the greatest of right now. And for the first time ever, you won't get laughed out of the room if you say somebody else's name.
I don't know if it's this one, man. I talked to Dr. Strange. I don't know if it's this one. Not again!
That's it! Tweek is your Let's Make Big Moves champion!
Tweek's 2023 pictured here is impressive enough on its own, but if we zoom out just a bit further to November of 2022, we see a truly special run. Since winning Port Priority 7 in November, not only has Tweek won 3 tournaments and finished 2nd at 4 more, he's shown consistency that few in this game, not even the GOAT, have been capable of in this volatile era. To find the last time Tweek missed top 8, you'd have to go back 10 events to the Ludwig Smash Invitational back on October 23rd, where Tweek finished 13th, losing to Big D and Gluttony. Tweek won KawaiiCon over Gluttony and Mars to kick off April, but by far his biggest win of the year came in his first tournament of the year, back at Let's Make Big Moves 2023 in January. There, he took down 3 of his most threatening foes back-to-back, taking down Riddles, MkLeo, and Spargo twice without dropping a set. Similar peaks had been there throughout Tweek's career. His 9 major wins and 23 major top 4s are both second to only Leo all time. Aside from Leo himself, the only other thing preventing Tweek from reaching the summit in his path were the valleys that seemed to come with every peak. Tweek has had 7 major tournaments in his career with a seed performance rating of -5 or worse. In other words, tournaments where he was eliminated at least 5 rounds before his seed projection. That inconsistency has been completely absent from Tweek's game for nearly half a year now, and that should be the most terrifying thing of all for his opponents. So much for the days where you might hope to catch Tweek on an off day or in the middle of a character crisis. The man has never looked more confident in his character roster, leaning on either Diddy Kong or Sephiroth whenever he needs to. It was almost exclusively Diddy Kong at Let's Make Big Moves, where he didn't flinch in the face of 2 Game 5s against Spargo's Cloud. At Summit, it was almost all Sephiroth, the character that provided the range he needed to deal with menaces like Snake and Ice Climbers. No matter what the day calls for, Tweek has the answer on deck, and in Ultimate's ever-shifting metagame, that's a huge asset. His 2-0 records over Shootone, MkLeo, and Kurama since Port Priority are staggering, and he's 3-0 on Big D since that set back at Ludwig's. Only 3 players have a winning record in multiple sets against Tweek since then. Spargo at 5-3, Gluttony at 2-1, and the clear choice for his biggest competition for the title of best ultimate player in the world right now.
My goodness, he cannot survive another one though. Tweek has to find this last hurrah somehow, but only going to find a diamond back air. The appropriate pop-up for Acola, as he is your Smash Ultimate Summit 6 champion.
That would be Acola. Acola's placements are impressive enough. 2 Super Major wins and a Summit Championship. Like Tweek, he boasts a perfect top 8 attendance record, and like Tweek, he finished 7th at Genesis 9. It's a testament to just how incredible Acola has played that this is not only his worst result of the year, but arguably his second worst offline result ever after his 9th place finish at December 2022's Seibugeki 12. Acola's 2nd place finish at Genesis came with losses to Mudace, the hottest player in the world on that weekend, particularly that Saturday, and Spargo, and it came with wins over Big D, Salt 1, and T. And, well, by the absurd standards Acola keeps setting for himself, that is a bad weekend, apparently. But it's the head-to-heads that really shine for Acola. He has 3 losing matchups to players he's faced multiple times in the past 6 months, Mudace, Spargo, and MkLeo, all 2-1 counts in favor of Acola's opponent. And then there's the players he's positive on. Kurama, T, Tweek, Onin, all 3-0, Light, Riddles, Japanese Bowser main Hero, all 2-0. He's 3-1 on Asimo and Yoshidora, and 2-1 on Big D, Miya, Shootone, and Ken. When Acola was sitting in loser's bracket on Summit's Championship Sunday waiting to play MkLeo for 9th, which is just insane by the way, there were legitimately 5 or 6 players, if you include Proto Banham, who was entering his first event of the year at Summit, who could have made a claim for best in the world had they made the run to first place. Not only was Acola the one to get there, he did so by beating just about everybody who could have countered his claim to the throne. A double elimination of Tweek in which he slowly but surely dissected the best Sephiroth in the world, one of Steve's scariest matchups, was the perfect way to finish crafting his case. The future is cloudy. It's unclear when we'll next get to see Acola clash with some of his North American rivals, whether at another tournament here or at Japanese majors, which some American players have committed to attending this spring and summer. It's also unclear what the status of Steve will be at many tournaments and regions across the world. Acola would undoubtedly be a huge threat in any meta, as he's proven he has a nasty Kazuya, Donkey Kong, Luigi, and others. And it doesn't look like Japan is banning Steve anytime soon, so anybody who wants to compete internationally should probably keep up on the matchup. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about who's the best right now. And if you're talking about that, looking at recent results, recent head-to-heads, and the absolute history that was his run at Ultimate Summit 6, the answer to that question sure looks like Acola. But Smash never sleeps, and while we spent all this time talking and thinking about Summit, a whole major tournament took place over in Portland, Oregon, and it reminded us to never sleep on somebody this talented.
They have played so many games together, and Spargo has shown the importance of adaptation! Oh! And that's gonna do it! Spargo with the pop-off is your major upset. Grand Finals champion, taking it over MkLeo. Wow!
Last place is a tough pill to swallow, even when it's last out of 16 of the best Smash Ultimate players in the world. It was unimaginable that such a thing could happen to Spargo of all players. Along with Leo, Acola, and Tweek, he had been defining consistency in a game where just about everybody agrees consistency is impossible. The last time he had missed a major top 8? Genesis 7. Yeah, the 2021. Spargo went 2-4 at Summit, beating only Natoru and Hungrybox. He had his chances. His sets against Mudace, Kurama, and Void all went to a 5th and final game, but Spargo just couldn't close it. Right now, that disappointing weekend is the biggest thing standing between him and a legitimate claim to current #1 in the world, especially after what he did to kick off April at Major Upset. Spargo ended 2022 with wins at Main Stage and Scuff World Tour, truly establishing himself as a #1 contender. After calmly dispatching Big D 3-0 in winter semis despite the winning matchup, no small feat, Spargo fell into losers at the hands of yet another Game 5 loss, this time to Leo. Rather than let that eat him, Spargo fought back with a quick 3-0 over Riddles and a shockingly quick 6-1 combined win over Leo and Grands. Again, as impressive as the results are, some of Spargo's head-to-head results are even more mind-blowing. In the past 6 months, he's 5-3 over Tweek, 3-1 over Sonics, and a stunning 2-1 over Riddles, MkLeo, and Acola. Few players have shown consistency over just about everybody they can expect to run into a top 8 bracket like Spargo has. He may have had a bump in the road at Summit, but you'd be a fool to keep him out of this conversation, even if he can't quite match Acola's consistency just yet. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Jackie Peanuts for writing, Root for editing, and I hope you enjoyed even more of these PG Stats-like videos. We have a very in-depth Melee one coming out soon, so please let us know what you think of the content, and consider supporting my Patreon if you want to help us make even more of it. At 100 patrons, you guys will literally get to pick my next video, so I look forward to researching something incredibly dumb, like milk or lumber. Speaking of, thank you to our top tier patrons and YouTube members Avishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Dorian, Eric is Cool, Juniper, NNG Esports, Storm SSB, Storm, and Tingly Jungle for supporting the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll absolutely love our analysis on SkyJ, which you can check out here. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.